The topic which I'm going to speak about is the love of money. It's taken from 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 10. First Timothy chapter 6 verse 10. Let me read for all of us. For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Some people eager for money have wandered from the faith and pierced themselves with many griefs. Once again, for the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. Some people eager for money have wandered from the faith and pierced themselves with many griefs. God bless us. Here we can clearly understand that how to use money. What is money for all of us? It's very helpful and useful to every one of us. Yeah, money plays a big role. So here we can see that Paul said to Timothy, money is all kinds of, evil, the root of all kinds of evil. So that means if you don't use wisely, money can lead you into astray. So here we can see the love of money did not begin today. And it was happening almost in the Old Testament times. We can see the servant of Elisha, Gehazi. We can see him, how much he loved money. He was running after money. And Naaman, we all know that you can see in 2 Kings chapter 5, verse 20. It was written there. Naaman, he was, army. He was a great soldier. Then he was suffering with leprosy. Then he went to the prophet Elisha in order to get cured. Then he was got healed completely. Then what had happened in that? After getting cured, he was trying to pay the price to Elisha. The Elisha said, he's not going to take any price for it. Then his servant named Gehazi, he was so much, willing to take money, his desire to have money. Why I am giving this example. Many a times in our life also, we love money so much. Then God, sometimes. We keep money first in our life. Many times it happens. Even in my life or in your life. Many times it happens. So here, what I want to say is God doesn't want. God doesn't like it. We must put God first, then money. So here we can see the life of Gehazi. After he was running after money, he got everything. Then what happened? God cursed him. The curse, Naaman was suffering with leprosy. So we can see what was the curse. 2 Kings chapter 5, the same chapter, and the 27, verse 27, you can see there. Anyone can read, please? Second Kings chapter 5, verse 27. Naaman's leprosy will cling to you. Once again, Naaman's leprosy will cling to you and to your descendants forever. Then Gehazi went from Elisha's presence, and he was leprous, as white as snow. This is what happens. He kept money first in his life. He was running after money. There you can see, if you want to clear about that. And that verse 20, same chapter, verse 20. Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of God, said to himself, my master was too easy to Naaman. This Aramean, by not accepting from him what he brought, as surely as the Lord lives, I'll run after him and get something from him. This is what? He ran after him and got everything. He received everything from Naaman. Then later on, what happens? Because of doing which is not good at all in the sight of God, he became leprous. So the same way, sometimes it can happen to you too. If you do something which is not good at all in the sight of God, when you do, the curse will come to you in many things. Like it might not be like same as Naman, here Gehazi, but in different way it can come. You might be thinking always, oh, what happened to me? I'm so much unlucky these days. Always whenever I do something, I'm always failure. What happens? You complain many times. Just recollect. Just think back. Look at back your life. Which is mistake you have done. Just confess yourself to God. As we all know, no human being is perfect. Many times we made a mistake, but God wants, the moment you made a mistake, ask forgiveness to God. This is what He expects from every one of us. We have to ask forgiveness. Then God is always ready to forgive when a child comes and asking forgive. And here we can see about Judas Iscariot. He's the one who misused money. He loves money so much. He was one among his disciples, Jesus' disciples. He sold Jesus Christ. At last, what happened? You can see, if you want to clear about that, you can see Matthew chapter 27, verse 4 to 5. Verses 4 to 5. Matthew chapter 27, verses 4 to 5. Let me read for all of us. 27, verses 4 to 5.
Now from the sixth hour, there was darkness over all
No.
and to the ninth hour.
Matthew chapter 27, verses 4 and 5. I have sinned, he said, for I have betrayed innocent blood. What is that to us? They reply, that your responsibility. So Judas threw the money into the temple and left. Then he went away and hanged himself. This is what the curse. So it can happen to. He was selling Jesus Christ. He sold Jesus Christ with 30 coins. Because of he loved money rather than God. We can see. Many a times we also. We might not be selling Jesus Christ, but in your heart, many times, you escape many times. You're pretending yourself not to be a Christian in front of your friends or somebody else. When they ask, are you a Christian? Sometime I used to go. Many people used to say this. It is not good. We should not deny God. Because God is always asking you, do you love me? Like a Peter. God asked to Peter, because Peter was a fisherman, we all know that. He went for fishing. Then Jesus went and he said, Peter, do you really love me? 3 times he was asking me, why? Because he knows every one of our hearts. Jesus knows that. Jesus knows Peter loved fishing so much than God. That's why he asked. What Peter said, yes, Lord, you know me, how much I love you. Then when he continuously asked for 3 times, he felt very bad towards himself. Why God is asking me this much time? Then he said, yes, Lord, you know me, how much I'm loving you. Many times God is asking you. When you do something, when you give much important than God, the thing which you do, God is always asking you. Sometimes we don't give a time to God at all. God has given you 24 hours in a day. How many hours did you ever spend with God? This is what sometimes God is asking. Did you ever give me 5 minutes? Did you ever give me 1 hour? Many times we all are working. So we are always busy with our work. We are running, doing everything. Sometimes we forgot. Even we are forgetting to read the Bible. We don't even pray sometimes. Some people, you know what they did? When they are eating food, even 1 minute or so, they are not praying. They will just forget, God bless. They will eat. That much we are sometimes. We are so much rushing. This is what God doesn't like. He gives us everything. He gives you everything, whatever you want. In that, God is asking, do you love me? With all your heart. Do you ever give me a time for me? Do you ever give a time for me? How many hours do you want to give me today? Because I'm giving you a new life. Because we have never sinned today in your life. This is the first time that you have sinned. Because God has extending your life, right? Nobody can extend our life. If you are going to buy an oxygen for one day to live, it's very hard sometimes. But God has given you free oxygen. You can breathe. You can go anywhere. So, in that, God is asking you, I give you this much blessing. I bless you, my dear child. How many hours you want to give me today? I have given you 24 hours. How many minutes you want to give me? I have blessed you this much. See, I gave you a good health. I gave you wealth. I gave you wisdom. I gave you whatever lacking in your life. I have given you. I bless you this much. How many hours you want to give me? How many minutes you want to give me? You want to spend time with me? Always He is asking you and I today. So what is your response towards God? Did you say, yes, Lord, I want to spend with you at least 1 hour, or at least 1 minute, let me spend with you. If God judged each one of us according to the time which we spend with Him, if God judged, many people will die today because they won't even have a single minute to spend time with God. If God says, how many hours you are spending with me, according to that, I'm going to give you a life. If He said, everybody will always spend time with God, always praising God, right, in order to get life. No one is willing to die. If God said, I am going to put you dead today, this is your last day, how you will use? Just think it. Today is your last day. You knows it very well. You will not see tomorrow. This evening, your life is going to be finished. How you are going to use it? It's very hard, right? We'll be going to see our family, relatives, because it is our last chance to spend time with them. We will go and spend time. And we will always pray. We'll always remember. You might be asking, Lord, extend my life few hours. You might be asking, you will never forget even a single minute. You will never forget God, even a single minute. The same way, every day is our last day. Be careful this and remember this always. Every day is our last day. So that's why we should not always concentrate on what we do. We have to concentrate, but we should not put it first, what you do. Put God first. Then you will have successful life. When you keep first in your life, God is the one who is going to lead you. God is the one who is going to take control of everything. That is why here we can see even Peter also failed in this. He denied God. He just left Him and went for fishing again. So Jesus knows inside his heart. He went and said, Peter, do you love me? You can see in John's chapter 21, verses 15 to 17. John's chapter 21, verses 15 to 17. You can just read through this one. Not now, I'm just explaining here. Jesus was telling to Peter, Simon, the son of Judah, John, do you truly love me? More than this. Not only do you truly love me, not only this. Jesus said more than this. More than this means what He does. More than that, do you love me? Many times God is telling to every one of us, more than what you do right now, do you really love me? Sometimes we don't love God more than what we do. What we are doing is, we are keeping first thing in that. And then Jesus will be back. Like we are keeping Jesus as a slave sometimes. Come Jesus, I need you. When you are in need of God's help, you will be in His presence. You will call upon Him. Lord, I need you, I need you. God is asking you 24 hours. My dear daughters, my dear sons, I need you. I want you to come to me. I want to spend time with you. But you never spend time with Him. But when you are in trouble, You put kneel down. You start remembering God. Lord, I need you. God is really patient, really. Just think, if you were a God, what you will do to them? But He still listens. Even though we misbehave, we don't listen to Him. Whatever He says, we know that this is not good to do. We know that it is not right to speak these things in front of others. And we should not, it is not good to drink alcohol or something, for example, I'm telling. I don't mean that we are doing. It is not good to eat. We know everything, but knowingly sometimes we are doing. Why? Because we are putting Jesus as second or like a third person. We are counting Him. That is why we do things we want instead of following Him. That is why Jesus always asks you, my dear sons, my dear daughters, do you really love me than this? When preacher comes and said, how many of you think that, how many of you love God truthfully? Hands up. Everyone will hands up. Then he will ask, do you believe? Or can you able to live what you do? For example, okay? This is happening all over the world. All the preacher will ask only to, addicted and all, no? Like alcoholic and all those people. They will ask, I love Jesus. I know He's my Savior, they will say. Then leave what you do and follow Christ. They will say no and they will go back. Like a rich man. We can see in the Bible, like a rich man. A rich man, he was thinking himself as very good. Then Jesus said to him to leave whatever he has and follow Him. What He said, he cannot able to follow that. He talked himself to Jesus that he obeyed all the commandments. Then Jesus Himself, He said at last, finally He said, in Matthew chapter 19 verses 16 to 22, it was written when you read, but I want to read out only 21 to 22, 21 and 22. Matthew 16, verse 21 and 22. Jesus answered, if you want to be perfect, go sell your possessions and give to the poor. This is what sometimes which we don't expect God is asking. Really, God is asking and testing your mind like Abraham. Abraham was a man who has a strong faith in God. And when Abraham has only one son, God asked him. He was testing his mind. Many a times God tests your mind, whether you love Him truly or not. Then, to Abraham, God said, sacrifice your son as a burnt offering for me. What Abraham said? He said yes. He don't have any doubt. Because he is the one, he knows that he is the one who provides him. He is the one who gives a son to him. He knows. Without any complaint, he took his son for burnt offering. God sees his heart. Without any doubt, he is doing things. That's why later on, he provides what to give for offering. That's why Abraham said God as a provider. Jehovah Jireh. That means God is provider. So at this very time, even to you and I also, God says many times, give me this, give me that. He asks things which we really love to do. God said, please forsake this. Don't do this. This is very bad. Do you really love me? Then this, many times God is asking to each one of us. I know I have something that I really love to do. You might be having the same way, something that you really love to do or really love to have something. We always, all the humankinds are having. So Jesus is always questioning you whether you love Him more than that. He didn't say that that is bad. But what He wants is keep Jesus, keep God as first in your life. This is what He always demands. He don't say don't do. He don't say don't have it. But when you put the things which you do more than God, when you take it as important, really God, you make God sad. So likewise, Today, my dear brothers and sisters, I want to encourage all of you. More than what you do, more than who you are, God is asking you. Asking. Even right now, He's asking what you are thinking right now, or how you are, what you like for, what you are doing. More than that, God is asking, please, come to me. Whatever I said to you, whatever the commands that I gave it to you, put it first in your life. Let me be a first person in your life. Then I will bless you in whatever you do. So, my dear brothers and sisters, in whatever we do, let's keep God first. He must be the head to us. Then whatever you do, the remaining things, God will handle it. You cannot handle when the problem comes sometime. We cannot handle. How it happens. We are begging someone to handle it, but no one is there to handle with you. The time will come for you to handle alone when things goes wrong. But when you keep God first in your life, God can handle it. So, my dear brothers and sisters, finally, I want to encourage you all, in whatever we do, let us not forget God. Let us acknowledge Him, what we do. Then God will lead us and take care of it, even take care of you too, and He will bless you in whatever you do. May God bless us.